Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. According to a CTV News report, British Columbia's labor market added 25,200 jobs in May, driven by strong growth in transportation, warehousing, construction, and manufacturing. Sectors like accommodation and food services also saw gains ahead of the summer travel season. BC Jobs Minister Ravi Kahlon praised the economy's resilience under global pressures, including U.S. tariffs and international conflicts. However, the report also highlighted a worrying trend. The youth unemployment rate rose from 14.4% to 15.3%, and the total number of unemployed individuals in the province climbed to 212,200, though the overall unemployment rate held steady at 6.8%. Opposition MLA Gavin Dew criticized the government, calling the situation a youth jobs crisis and pointing out that many young families are leaving BC in search of better opportunities elsewhere. Dew blamed the NDP government for expanding the public sector while neglecting the private and self-employment sectors, which traditionally offer entry-level opportunities for young people. Despite the political friction, provincial data shows that BC continues to lead Canada with the highest average hourly wage at 38.65 to CIS. According to a report by the Canadian press, Natan Obed, the president of Inuit Tapiriit Kanatami, ITK, has expressed deep concern over serious allegations of financial mismanagement and a toxic work environment at the Office of the Commissioner for Indigenous Languages. These allegations, raised by former employees, suggest the office spent $10 million on a single conference and extensive travel while failing to complete research or effectively support the preservation of Indigenous languages. In response, the Federal Department of Canadian Heritage has launched a financial audit into the office alongside a mandatory 5-year review of the Indigenous Languages Act. Obed, who had previously warned in 2019 that the office lacked the necessary enforcement powers, stated that ITK is preparing recommendations to reform both the office's mandate and the legislation. He called for the office to be granted actual authority to adjudicate language-related complaints against the government. Additionally, Obed urged Ottawa to grant official language status to Inuit in the Inuit homeland to ensure adequate funding and protection. According to Radio Canada International, the wealthy Moroun family of Michigan, owners of the Ambassador Bridge, is planning to expand its controversial concrete business across the border into Windsor, Ontario. Operating under the name CTC Concrete, the business has already secured environmental permits from the Ontario provincial government, allowing it to produce up to 100,000 cubic meters of concrete annually and draw nearly 1 million liters of water daily from the Detroit River. The expansion has sparked significant concern from local Windsor officials and residents. In Detroit, the family's Hercules concrete operations, particularly the Kronos concrete plant, have faced intense criticism, protests, and temporary shutdowns for operating without proper permits, displacing residents and causing severe dust pollution and health issues. Windsor Ward 2 City Councillor Fraser Fathers expressed absolute concern over the project given the Moroun family's troubled history in both countries. While Fathers noted that Canada maintains stricter environmental and air quality regulations than Michigan, he emphasized that provincial authorities must strictly monitor the facility to ensure compliance and protect the community downwind. According to a report by the Canadian press, Sunwing Vacations Group has announced the indefinite suspension of all its travel services to Cuba. The decision, which expands on a previous halt, implemented in April that ran through October, comes as Cuba grapples with an increasingly severe and desperate aviation fuel shortage. The suspension affects all bookings with Sunwing Vacations, WestJet Vacations, and WestJet Vacations, Quebec. Sunwing, a subsidiary of WestJet, stated that customers holding existing bookings to Cuba will be contacted directly to discuss their options, which include rebooking to an alternative destination or canceling for a full refund. The company cited the challenging current operating environment on the island as the primary reason for the move. Sunwing is not the only airline pulling back from the region. Air Transat suspended its flights to Cuba 6 weeks ago, and Air Canada halted its services in February due to fuel shortages aggravated by an ongoing U.S. oil blockade. According to a report by the Canadian press, the government of Alberta has released a comprehensive passenger rail master plan, with airport-to-downtown train connections in Calgary and Edmonton earmarked as the first key projects. The province plans to spend $15 million over the next 3 years to advance the design and planning phases of these connections, which are deemed the most feasible in the short term. The grand 30-year vision outlines a massive expansion of rail infrastructure across the province, potentially costing at least $60 billion. This long-term blueprint envisions high-speed rail lines linking Edmonton and Calgary, dedicated commuter rails connecting both major cities to their surrounding suburbs, and a passenger line running from Calgary to the popular Rocky Mountain resort town of Banff. Premier Danielle emphasized that building major infrastructure requires thoughtful preparation and partnerships, noting that the airport train links represent a top priority heard directly from Albertans. While construction will not begin immediately, these initial planning efforts mark the first concrete steps toward transforming Alberta's regional transit landscape. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.